Hi, and welcome to Amanda and Zoe's Pooch-Tastic podcast. I hope everybody had a very happy Thanksgiving. Because it's officially December, even though, at least here in New York, the weather isn't as cold as it should be, I wanted to talk about some things that you could do with your dog when the weather's really cold and you can't always take him to the dog park, or it's raining, or it's snowing, things like that. So, first things first, definitely invest in a Kong because it's a lifesaver. Believe me, when Zoe couldn't go out, when she was a very rambunctious puppy, although she is very bad today, so she still has her bad moments. Anyway, Kong, great. You can fill it up with treats. Yeah, Zoe, you're very bad today. She was awful. She wasn't listening to me, so we're going to have to do some training. I'm going to have to rev it up for the next couple of days because I think she forgot. Anyway, so you could definitely get a Kong, depending on the dog's height and weight. You can get like a small one for small to medium-sized dogs, big one for larger breeds, etc. And just put in like peanut butter, kibble, dog food. Break up like Happy Hips and mixed up with a little wet food. And give it to them, and that should keep them occupied. You could also freeze it too, and that's one of the things I did with Zoe when she was a really rambunctious puppy, and it kept her occupied. Definitely a good thing. There's also chews. You can get like a Nylabone. They have the bully sticks. They have all sorts of different chews. But if your dog has allergies or you're afraid they're going to choke on something, I would go to your local pet shop and ask their opinion because every dog's going to be different. I know the place near me, Vinny's Pet Shop, has deer antler and elk antler for dogs, and it's just like this big, long, like thin stick that they could eat. Yes, I know, Zoe, you want one. We'll get one for you for Christmas. You can also, and this was another lifesaver, play the seek game, which is basically where you hide treats and just have the dog seek. Yeah, Zoe wants to play that. You hear her shaking? So anyway, we would know on a cold winter's day, you can hide treats around the house or apartment or your room and have the dog seek. It's really good for nose work. You could also Google different nose work techniques on Google and train your dog too. Because yeah, all right. Sorry, Zoe's being a little rambunctious today. Because yeah, okay, like running around and having, sorry, Esme's trying to jump on the screen too. Running around is great, and having them wrestle with other dogs is really, really good. It burns off physical energy, but training and things like nose work really help with the mental aspect. That'll burn off a lot more energy. I mean, I remember I would just play Seek for an hour with Zoe, and she would just pass out, which was great because she was a really hyper puppy, and she drove me absolutely nuts. There's also a toy called a flirt pole, which is basically a giant cat toy. And I know they sell it on Amazon. I think they sell it on Petco, but I don't know if they sell it in stores. I think it would depend on the location and what they have in stock. You can just, it's basically like a stick with a stuffed animal at the end of the rope, and you just wave it around and they catch, and we can play fetch and help their prey drive, and that'll really burn off a lot of physical and mental energy when it's snowing or it's raining or you're just not feeling well. I definitely want to get it for Zoe for Christmas because it'll definitely help on the days where she's just being a butthead, and I have to put her into the small dog section because she's just not being, responsive to any of the commands that I know she knows. Or if it's raining and we can't get to the dog park. Another thing you can do is obviously tug of war. I used to play that all the time with Zoe. Sorry about that. Esme decided she wants it to come on camera. Hi, Esme. Esme decided she's going to be my special guest star today. Another thing that you can do, if you have two dogs, the way I do, is get them to play with each other. I mean, Esme's a bit old, so come here, Esme, go sit on the side. Um, Sorry about that, Esme. Neither of my dogs are listening to me today. They're just being very, very bad today. Very, very bad. Okay, Esme, come here. All right, okay. So anyway, so you can try to get them to play with each other. Esme and Zoe like to chase each other and run around the house, and you can play hide and seek with them. My two really like that because they'll try to chase me, and then they'll wind up chasing each other. It's really funny. What else can you do? I know there's puzzle treats. I know, or not puzzle treats, but it's like a treat dispenser, and you put treats in, and the dogs kind of have to figure out how to get it out, which is pretty cool. So I know they have that at like pretty much your average pet place. You could also do obedience work. If you have time, you can enroll them in an agility class. I actually thought about doing that when Esme was a puppy, but she has a lacerating patella, so can't do that with her. And she's too old now, so. But obedience work is great. If you can get an agility set and you can take agility classes, even better. Puppy play dates are also a really good idea. My aunt brought over her two dogs. One's a Havanese Shih Tzu mix named Cody, and the other one's like a little teacup Yorkie named Lucky, for Thanksgiving, and the four dogs were playing nicely with each other, and Lucky actually got a kick out of Zoe. It was really funny every time they wanted to play. Zoe would jump off of the couch and play with him, and by smacking him upside the head with one of those big paws. It was really funny. So, there's a lot of different things you can do if the weather's bad and, they're driving you nuts. Obedience work is definitely probably the best because, not only does it help build up their skills, but it'll also burn off a lot of mental energy. The flirt pole is really, really good because then you can also use it for training too. You can teach them sit, stay, come, wait, etc. Kong, best friend. Chews like the Nylabone. At first Zoe didn't really like them, but now she loves them. You can get the antlers and the hooves and things like that. I know they sell them at the pet stores I go to. Kong, like I said, probably the best invention ever. You can definitely, freeze it, and you can put add a little chicken broth, to make it really tasty, and that'll keep them entertained for a while. You could even do long line work in the backyard, or when it snows, just put them out on a long line and let them run around. Zoe really likes that. She loves playing in the snow for some reason. Esme, not so much. Esme is a very pampered pooch, as you can tell. She just wants to be held in my arms. She's my old lady. She's 10. Another thing I used to like to do with Esme is play tug of war with the stuffed animals and hide it, and she'd go find it. And she still does, but not as much anymore. Like I said, her and Zoe would play. Esme used to have Bichon buzzes. She still does, but she's old and she's got a legs-leading patella, so she doesn't always want to play. So, you can definitely try to see if they'll play hide and seek with you. And if you have two dogs, you can have them part of the game because they'll usually just wind up chasing each other, especially after a bath. They like to chase each other and have buzzes. It's really cute. So anyway, I hope these options, a Kong, a flirt pole, again, you can pretty much get this on Amazon or any pet store. I mean, they might have to special order it, but I know they do sell them. Another thing, it's called a holy roller, which sounds really funny, but it's a ball, but it's not filled in. It's made out of plastic, and it almost looks like a giant puzzle piece. It's like a ball in the shape of a giant puzzle piece, and they can pick it up in their mouth. It's really good. Zoe likes to roll it back and forth in the dog park and play with it and pick it up in her mouth, and I think she prefers that over like an actual tennis ball or something like that, or a squeak toy, because she can pick it up in her mouth and she can chew on it. So that's another thing that you can get. the name is hilarious, but it's a really, really good toy. There's also, again, the treat dispensers where they have to figure it out, like a puzzle. Again, if you can should look up nose work, obedience tricks, and things like that. That's also good to keep them entertained. Seek, tug of war, hiding the toy. So there's, they don't have to completely drive you crazy when the weather's bad. There's a lot of different options, so I hope that helps. Anyway, I have to go take these two rambunctious hounds for their dinner walk. So we hope that you enjoyed this episode and have a good night. See you next week. Bye.